Let's talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad here in South Africa. You see, back in 2005, as a youngster, I used to be a sound engineer, and I saw this little advert in the tube in the London Underground talking about Robert Kiyosaki 2-hour free workshop that I embarked on back in 2005 with Simone, and the rest was history. I ended up on a 3-day property workshop, which was the Robert Kiyosaki's training team, and they would teach me all the philosophies of Robert Kiyosaki's teaching. You know, an asset, something that puts money into your pocket; a liability, something that takes money out of your pocket; and buying property to build wealth, buying property for a second income stream, and just making a lot of money in property. And I learned below market value, bridging finance, assisted sales, simultaneous transactions. I learned lease options, option to buys. The whole rent to rent. I learned so much from the Robert Kiyosaki trainings. Now, when I moved back here in South Africa back in 2013, that's all I knew. Make money when you buy for a positive cash flow, make sure you're buying the right entity, that you understand tax and structure and business. The problem, I guess, it's not a problem with the whole rich dad thinking, not at all, but buying in America and going to their banks versus dealing with South African banks is two different conversations, right? And so I would like to call myself the rich dad here in South Africa for the pure reason that I live and breathe what Robert Kiyosaki teaches in terms of buying below market value, buying for a positive cash flow, having exit strategies, buying assets, letting your assets pay for your liabilities. I mean, most of you, not all of you, of course, probably love to buy fancy cars and go on fancy holidays. The problem is most people take out debt to do it. How about buying a property, flipping a property, using the profits to pay for what your doodads are? And that's the mindset and thinking that you've got to have here in South Africa. So if you are here in South Africa and you love the Robert Kiyosaki style of teaching, you've obviously read his book, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Make sure you read the Cashflow Quadrant. I love that book. If you think the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book was good, read the Cashflow Quadrant book. And at Sapin, I mean, we even do things like, so I've got the Cashflow games in my head office. We're always playing the Cashflow game, teaching people about your income statement, your balance sheet. When opportunities come around, landing on doodads, just playing the Cashflow game alone changes mindsets. And I think it's important for South Africans that, in South Africa right now, again, with the economy where we are, you and I can't change it, can we? But when it comes to property investing and our mindset and how we apply our knowledge to property in South Africa, there's a lot of money to be made and there's high returns to be made. You just need to understand, and that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about, is invest in yourself, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And taking his teachings, taking just the board game and applying it to real life, taking his philosophy of using debt to get richer. See, I guess if you speak to old school guys and you say, I'm going to take out debt to get richer, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because there's two different styles of thinking about debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Bad debt, an example would be you've gone out, you bought a car, it's a fancy car that doesn't hold its value. You're not using it for Uber or Bolt, but it's just deteriorating in value. It's going down in value. And now you are funding it through your salary, right? If you had to go buy a property and let's just say you're making 10,000 Rand a month, cash flow, rather let the cash flow pay for the car, let the cash flow pay for the holiday, let the cash flow pay for those expensive shoes. But this is where the whole mindset shift has to come in, guys, in terms of the thinking behind Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad book and his cash flow quadrants. And I'm just sharing with you, I've taken what I've learned in London. That is 2005, that's 20 years ago. I've applied it in England, I still applied in the UK, and I applied here in South Africa because through my experience, through Robert Kiyosaki's teachings, it's helped me a hell of a lot. And I'm just sharing with you and other people what I personally learned through Rich Dad, Poor Dad here in South Africa. So guys, if you want to hear more about the cash flow game and the club we have, there's a group of us playing the cash flow game all the time. In the comments box, let me know if you guys want to join. We play online and we play physically on the board game. So let us know. And guys, if you want to find out more about property investing and buying below market value, where we find the deals, let me know in the comments box. I'll get back to you and we'll invite you to the next session.